Good afternoon. My name's Trevor Bottomley, and today I'd like to speak to you about what is an interval in music. In music, an interval is described as the distance in pitch and space from one note to another, or two notes. Intervals are determined by the number of letters from the lower note to the higher. The lower and higher notes are both included in the interval. There are two types of interval, simple and compound. The simple interval occurs within the octave and a compound interval occurs outside of the octave. They are also called diatonic and chromatic intervals. From C to D, there are two letters included in the interval, and we call this a major second. For simplicity, all our examples are in the key of C. Taking the tonic note as C, if we move up to E, then this move includes three letters, C, D and E. This interval then becomes what we call a major third, and so on up through the octave, counting the notes as we go. 3, 4ths, 5ths, 6th, 7ths, etc., etc. If the two notes forming an interval are both in the same key and are part of its scale, then this interval is called a diatonic interval. If the two notes are immediately adjacent and of the same key note, i.e. C, up to C sharp, this is called a chromatic interval. Intervals are made up of semitones and whole tones. The Americans call them half steps and whole steps. A whole tone and a semitone have been the distance between two immediate adjacent notes, and a whole tone being the distance between two notes with the note in between. An explanation of whole tone and semitones. The semitone is indicated by the arrows showing A and B. B flat. You will note that the notes are next to one another with no other note in between, as this is the semitone between B, C, E, F. The whole tone is indicated by the arrows showing A and B. You will note the black note in between the two white notes being A sharp and B flat. The black notes in between C and D and G and A also. It therefore follows that an interval is constructed of semitones, whole tones, or a combination of both. Let's take our tonic note as C again. If we then play D, this represents a major second. You will note that the black note C sharp, D flat is in between the C and the D. Again, we start with the tonic note C, and this time we move up to E. As there are three notes in the interval, C, D and E, this is called, as we said before, a major third. We then move up to F. This interval is called a perfect fourth. There are no major or minor fourths or fifths, they are always perfect. The fourth and fifth can either be augmented up one semitone or diminished down one semitone, but never major or minor. G is a perfect fifth, A is a major sixth, B is a major seventh, and C is the perfect octave. In the next slide, we show the notation on the staff for the simple intervals, the names major, minor, augmented, diminished and perfect. You will note that we have shown the minor indicator in lowercase. This is how it's shown for chord symbols in modern music. There we are. There are all the intervals, all the simple intervals anyway. Minor second in the top left hand corner, C and D flat, up to in the bottom right hand corner, the perfect octave. We hope this tutorial has been of use and you know how intervals are formed and constructed. It is very important to learn all the simple intervals as they are structures upon which chords are formed. Also, we recommend when playing and practicing your intervals, you sing the notes. This way you become accustomed to the sound, and it can be a great advantage to be able to recognise an interval when played. A good method of learning to hear intervals is listen to the various popular songs and try to determine the starting interval. For example, Leonard Bernstein's Maria starts on an augmented fourth, Maria. The re part of the phrase is the augmented fourth F sharp. But for now, happy piano playing.